Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Sauce, coming off an awesome Thursday night. 2-0 in the NFL game. You got 1-0 in college football. We had Utah State. That was dope. So great Thursday. We got great football tonight, too. A nice Friday night. That's about to kick off any minute. But right now, I'm talking college football Saturday, and I got an SEC game. Kentucky, Ole Miss. Let's go.
Welcome to The Sauce. The Sauce. Hey.
All right, Kentucky on the road at Ole Miss here. Line opens up Rebels laying 6.5 at home. Early public is definitely on Kentucky, but there's some sharps on Ole Miss because the money is actually split even as of Tuesday morning. The books react to that sharp money on Ole Miss. They bump the line up for 6.5 to 7, but it doesn't stay there for long because as soon as it hits 7, a big rush of Kentucky money came in and they dropped it right back down to 6.5, which is where we're at right now. So let's cap this game. If you subscribe to this channel, you already know the first step. We're running the numbers through the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Ole Miss minus 7.54. That's a 1-point lean on Ole Miss. Really not much to go by there. All right, let's break down this matchup real quick. And we got two undefeated SEC teams here. This should be awesome. Both of these teams coming off upset scares last week. Honestly, I think both these teams got caught looking ahead to this game, probably. So we'll start with the Kentucky defense, and they've been very good. 21st in the FBS and DFEI, which is solid as hell. They're also 17th in the country, allowing just 219 yards of offense against a game. Yeah, they've also allowed only 3 rushing touchdowns all season. And if you're thinking, well, Sauce, they just played Northern Illinois. On the road at Ole Miss is a completely different story. Yeah, you're right, but this Kentucky team went on the road in the swamp at Florida and held them to, what was that, 15, 16 points? So it's not like this Kentucky defense is going to be intimidated by playing at Ole Miss. Kentucky went into the swamp and held Florida to just 279 yards of offense in that game. Now, I think Ole Miss offense is more explosive than Florida's this year. I'll give that to you. But the point I'm making is this Kentucky defense is not going to be overwhelmed by playing in a harsh road environment here. Now, this Kentucky team is pretty well-rounded, but they have one enormous, huge, glaring weakness. We know they can play defense. We know they have a great quarterback, NFL prospect, Will Levis. We know that. But this team cannot run the football. 123rd in the country, averaging 2.4 yards a carry on the season. Ew. But does that change this week now that Kentucky brings Chris Rodriguez back into the lineup? This is their star running back from last year. He had 1,379 yards rushing and 9 rushing touchdowns last season. He's been out this whole year with a suspension. He returns for this game. So does Chris Rodriguez on the field for the Wildcats immediately improve Kentucky's rush game? I would have to say, yeah, he does. So what about Mississippi? What about Ole Miss? What about the Ole Miss offense here? Obviously, Lane Kiffin has this offense rolling, as you would expect. They're 7th in the country in OFEI. So even with the schedule adjustment, they're still a top 10 offense. Really similar to the offense we saw last year with Matt Corral. Jackson Dart seems to be fitting in nicely so far. Now, they're definitely running the ball more this year than they did last year, but is that a result of playing shitty teams to start the year and they had leads, so they were just running the ball more? Or is that Lane Kiffin deciding we're going to be more of a running team? Really tough to say at this point. I expect to see the offense looking pretty similar to what it did last year, to be honest. Now, there is a lot about this Ole Miss offense that we don't know on account of them starting with such an easy schedule. For example, what is this offense going to look like when Kentucky's defense stalls out their running game for spurts throughout the game? What's it going to look like when Jackson Dart has to drop back on 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 10s against a Kentucky defense that's 17th in the country in 3rd down conversion defense? I mean, we saw Jackson Dart get some playing time for USC last year, and I mean, I was not overly impressed. I'm sure you weren't either. Full disclosure, the fact that this line's at 6.5 and the fact that the books were willing to put it at 7 shows me that my cap is off here. Ole Miss is probably the right side, but I can't get there. I tried. Last night I was going through notes trying to get to Ole Miss. I couldn't get there. I'm on Kentucky here. I'm backing Will Levis and the Wildcats. Give me Kentucky plus 6.5. Let's go. If anything changes with this bet, I will let you know on Twitter, so give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the full Saturday tickets that I do, which is the top 7 bets, bet of the day, underdogs of the day, and parlays of the day, that stuff, if you're interested in that, head over to KyleKirms.com or download the Sauce Network app. College football week 5 is here. Great Saturday. Let's send out some units to reel in some units. I'll talk to you on Twitter.